Hi, this is your host Apil Bhartiya and welcome to TFR Let's Talk. Today we have with us Ambuj Kumar, co-founder and CEO of Symbian. Ambuj, it's great to have you on the show.
My pleasure.
It's my pleasure actually to host you here, and this is the first time I'm talking to you. So I'm also curious a bit about the company, the name of the company, what problem you saw, when did you saw that, and what led to the creation of this company. So just give us the history and story of Symbian.
Yeah, so Symbian is building AI agents for cybersecurity defense. And AI, when people think of advanced AI technology, we always think of robots taking over the world. And but to restore harmony and peace and control, we need symbiotic relation between AI, machines, and humans. So we chose this name Symbian to signify that. And so idea is that we are building AI agents. These are like virtual employees. They keep you secure, but they always work under you for you.
Thank you. And can you also talk about what problem you saw that the cybersecurity industry was not solving that needed to be solved, which led to the creation of Symbian?
Yeah, so cybersecurity is very dynamic. What it means is that the pace of innovation is set by attackers, your adversary, because they are always finding new things, new vulnerabilities, new tools, and exploiting that, right? So you need to constantly advance and react. So what it leads to is lots and lots of tools, and more tools you add, more work there is for security team. So eventually your security team becomes the bottleneck, not the product innovation. And this situation is going to get much worse with AI, because if you, let's say you work in some other industry and your boss asks you that, hey, let's use AI to make our business better. You can choose your pace. You can say that, okay, I'll do it in a year or 5 years. But in cyber security, we are already seeing very targeted phishing attacks, deep fakes, as well as now you can take just CVE ID and create malicious payload from some of these LLMs. So we will see a floodgate opening where adversaries, attackers are using AI to come after you. And they can do that at a fraction of a cent. So if an attacker creates an incident that costs them 1 cent, and you have to spend like your precious humans to look after that, so you are maybe spending $1,000. So 1 cent versus $1,000, you will go bankrupt even if you are world's best security team. So only way we can fight AI is with AI. And so this is where Symbian was born. And our goal is that we will give you an army of AI agents that are trained on best security skills, on best security tools. They understand your unique needs and they work for you.
AI has been around for so long, decades, but Gen AI has kind of OpenAI, ChatGPT. It has kind of rekindled our interest in AI. Talk a bit about how do you look at AI or Gen AI? I mean, Gen AI is a bit different topic, but still, as attacked, surface, or you see it on the flip side to use it to further enhance your security portfolio. So I want to look at two different, as workload that you have to protect at the same time as something that you can leverage to protect those workloads.
What generative AI gives is control over unstructured data, right? So let's talk about first, like the red teaming or attackers coming after you, right? So I want to analyze, for example, what applications or what software your web applications use. And so normally I will have to do it manually, right? I will have to try one thing after the other. But with generative AI, I can just point my LLM to your website, and looking at layout, looking at some of the responses from various components, it can quickly figure out that you are running Node.js here, you are running this particular server here, this database here, this SaaS service here, and then it also knows all the CVEs, right? like vulnerabilities that are associated with those applications, and then it knows how to exploit those applications. And so then it can, like, reason and put together an attack vector that will bypass maybe your authentication scheme, and get to your data. Or it will send, let's say, I wanted to do a phishing campaign, right? So normally I will do manual research. I will figure out what's the name of your employees, like what are they interested in, and I'll spend maybe like hour, half an hour writing that email, sending it to them, and then 99.9% of your employees will just delete that email, right? Because they are sophisticated. Um, but with generative AI, all I need to do is, I mean, I don't want to give too many ideas to bad people out there, but with generative AI, you can automate whole variety of these tasks. And so suddenly, like attackers can, like, send like 10,000 highly personalized emails to your employees, and, like, increasing the chance of somebody, clicking on a bad link, right? And that's how they get in. So on attack side, what we are seeing is that bad guys are able to use this generative AI technology to automate lots of different things that previously were possible, but it would have costed so much money that it was infeasible. So that's what's happening on bad side. On good side, conversely, right, we need to be one step ahead, right? Because as you said, we need to be right all the time. So what Symbian is doing, right, is our AI agent. It starts with a large language model, so it's powered by some of these largest LLMs, and then it is trained with security knowledge. So, for example, it knows that when I get an alert from CrowdStrike that talks about somebody, lots of like encryption happening all of a sudden on endpoint, it is most likely a ransomware attack, right? Or when it knows that when I get an alert that says your employee is logging from a new location, it knows that it is probably impossible travel alert, and then it knows what information I need to triage and investigate that alert, right? So, for example, we can go look at all other devices that employee has accessed, or we can go ask that employee that, hey, are you traveling? Are you in office? Are you in Singapore? Because I just see you logging from Singapore, right? So our AI can automatically put a plan together for that action and go execute that. So then what you get is like a bunch of software that behaves like your SOC analyst. And normally you needed to hire, like people SOC analysts to do those things, and that would be very expensive and time consuming. But now you have software that can do 90% of those things autonomously. And so that's how, like we help companies, and they step ahead of, bad people.
Can you also talk about, of course, depending on whether you can share or not, some either use cases, or if you can drop any names, also of the companies who are leveraging your technologies? Of course, AI agent is something new, but where you see, hey, this is the scope for these kind of use cases.
Generative AI has gotten so much interest from everyone, right? Because everybody feels that, oh, this will be cure all, it will solve all our problems, lots of, like good things coming. And that is, partly correct, right? Because for the first time, we have learned to use, like silicon that kind of mimics, like our biological computer, our brain. And unlike, us humans, there is no memory constraint. There is almost infinite attention to details, and like so it is certainly a path to solve whole variety of problems. And so there is lots of interest from customers and partners and thought leaders and everyone. Um, but putting AI in production or in use, especially in cybersecurity, has eluded many. So I'm very happy to report that now Symbian has first demonstrated a production use case of somebody using AI agents. And so we have a customer, Matillion. We are doing a case study with them. So you can come to our website, Symbian.ai, to learn about it. And what they do is very interesting, right? So it's a data ETL company. They interact with lots of their customers and vendors, and as part of that, they are collecting whole bunch of unstructured information, um, um, and like security questionnaires. Do you have firewalls? How do you do your encryption? And conversely, their customers are asking Matillion that, hey, before we purchase your product, we need to know about your company. We need to get this information about your company. And previously, Matillion was using people like humans to do this. Now with Symbian, they have automated it. So we have a GRC agent that understands governance, risk, compliance topic really well. And so it goes and hunts for information from Matillion environment, and like it fills up the security questionnaires, it reviews the vendors, and it does it really really well with very high accuracy. And therefore Matillion security team, now they are they can actually go and defend their organization rather than spending their time like on something that can be automated with software. So that's first demonstrated use case of AI agents in wild, and very exciting. The second use case we have is a large MSSP that is supporting a whole bunch of customers using Symbian SOC AI agent. So we have an AI agent that is specialized in SOC security operations, and so our customer is using that to do triage and investigate alerts that are coming from their customers.
When it comes to cybersecurity, the thing is that it's not as easy as it used to be in early days. Of course, back in those days, security was someone else's problem. It was an afterthought. There are different teams. I mean, we talk about DevSecOps. I don't know how much is actually happens in reality, but things have changed, and the way systems get compromised is also changing. It's not that I mean, we keep hearing about stories, but social engineering is there where somebody can just as you said, that email link can be there. Now we can also get because of Gen AI, we can get voice call from my wife. It's this camera. It could be even the video call you can get. So can you also talk about the how the threat landscape is also changing, which also means that we have to lean more and more on automation. We have to lean more and more on AI driven technologies, because the old traditional legacy approach towards cybersecurity is not going to work. So can you talk about that aspect also?
Yeah, so cybersecurity is really interesting, right? Um, Imagine you are on a walk, and somebody comes to you and says that, hey, I want to play chess with you. And you're like, I'm on a walk. But no, and you need to play chess with me. And if I defeat you in the game of chess, then all your money belongs to me. And so you're like, okay, I'll play. What can I do, right? And then so maybe by luck, or maybe you are a good chess player, so you defeated that player. Then you go like 10 steps further. Somebody comes to you and say that, hey, all my life I have studied American history, and I will quiz you on 10 questions. And if you don't answer any of those correctly, then I will take all your money. And then go 10 steps further. Somebody is challenging you for football, and so cybersecurity is same thing, right? You are constantly challenged by attackers that have spent their life specializing in one particular skill, and you don't get to choose the game. They choose the game, and you have to be better at a game of their choosing. And this is why it's so frustrating and so hard to keep up with this thing. And now imagine that new games are being invented every day, like new vulnerabilities, new TTPs are coming every day. And so of course that's nightmare. Now the promise of AI agents is that you have a software on your side that is constantly learning all these techniques and knowledge. So rather than you being good at chess, now we have a software that knows, like game of chess really, really well, right? It knows how to skill really, really well. And so that is AI agent that we are building, and it's trained on all security knowledge, all like ways organizations can be hacked, all the ways it can protect, and this is why it's so revolutionary.
Now, as we were earlier talking about, AI, Gen AI, automation, sometimes people confuse these two. Sometimes these things overlap also. So, can you also talk about the difference and from Symbian's perspective, how you look at these things and how you enable your customers to be wherever they are in their journey of software development without worrying about cybersecurity?
Yeah, great question. So traditional machine learning is about classification. So your main goal is to detect anomaly from standard objects, and people use lots of regression, etc. for that. Then we evolved to natural language processing (NLP), and that created lots of different use cases in cybersecurity. But with large language models, especially what Symbian is doing, we are creating a reasoning engine, right, that understands all the security tools, how they operate, all the security concepts, and able to work dynamically. It can operate your tools. It can write emails for you. It can collaborate with humans. It can reflect on itself and create a better plan. So this is like an entirely new approach that has lots of positive impact on cybersecurity.
When it comes to security, I cover security a lot. Culture, practices, processes play as much role as good tools. You can bring a horse to a lake, but you cannot make it drink if it doesn't want to drink. So, can you also talk about the role of culture, processes in place, and sometimes right tools can become a catalyst to bring that cultural change within organizations. So how does Symbian enable to bring that cultural change if you feel that cultural change is also needed?
Yeah, great question. So I'll highlight two things: internal, culture at Symbian, and how we work with customers. So at Symbian, we believe in creating world's best thing ever, right? So if we are building SOC agent, our goal is that this should be world's best AI agent for security operations. We are building GRC agent. So our goal is to just produce world's best AI agent for GRC. And in fact, on in both these things, we are so far ahead of anybody else, and our results speak for themselves. So just having that drive that hey, we will work as hard as possible, 24/5. That's how I work. But like as hard as possible, assemble best team out there. Just having that desire to create something that is world's best, that hunger that drives us. So that is how Symbian operates. Um, and then how it reflects with customers is that, as cybersecurity is not easy field to be in, right? So our customers, CISOs, teams, I mean, people are having mental challenges, mental issues, hard work, high churn, all those things. So we ensure that any customer that takes a chance on our company, we have their back, come hell or high water. Once you start to work with Symbian will deliver. It doesn't really matter what comes in the way. It doesn't matter whether there is an issue because of bug in our product, or some network connectivity on your side, or you need a feature that like we don't have, or like your requirements now evolve and you need us to do something else. Once you work with Symbian, you can be 100% assured that we have your back. It's like going to war, like you have chosen us as your partner. We'll keep you happy. Simple as that. And that is reflected in the fact that 100% of my customers throughout my career are referenceable, right? And so we take it very, very seriously. And I tell my team that like our goal is to use our talent and our hard work in making someone else's life easier, right? And that someone else's customer. So the earlier thing that I mentioned, desire to create world's best product, is related to this, because if we have world's best product, then our customers are so much easier in their work. So that's how I view these things.
This is October, so we are almost, at the end of the year. Of course, I will not ask you to share a lot of your plans that are in the pipeline because we'll talk about them when they are ready. But just give us a teaser, a glimpse of what else to expect from Symbian this year or early next year.
Yeah, so we will be releasing whole bunch of updates to our AI agents for both SOC as well as GRC. So imagine you are working in AWS or Azure or GCP. You get some alert from some tool. You want to respond to it. You want to investigate it. Maybe you want to take some action. You want to, like remove somebody from some ACL group, or you want to isolate an endpoint, or you want to block a port. And so Symbian is automating all of those things. And similarly on GRC, right? You are going for SOC 2 compliance, or you are trying to put a RFP bid for a project, and you need to collect lots of evidence, lots of data, massage them. So Symbian is going to like automate all of those things again. And we do that these things at very very high accuracy. We understand like what is our current capability, and if you ask us something that we are currently not capable, we meaning like our software is designed in a way where it bails out. So it will be amazing, and my goal is that by next year we can, for every single alert, for every single task, we can give you like 10 times boost. So if you supported um, 100 employees with one X team, now you can support like 1,000 employees, 10 times more volume with Symbian.
Ambuj, once again, thank you so much for taking time out today and not only talk about the company, but how the whole cybersecurity landscape is evolving and how you folks are also leveraging latest technologies to help customers. Thanks for all those great insights, and I would love to have you back on the show. Thank you.